You didn't get priced out, you got played. And the game was rigged from the jump. Because this wasn't a hot market, it was a hostage negotiation. And your future was the ransom. They told you, work hard, save smart, buy a home. But the price of admission went from 3x income to 10x and a side of parental co-signing. By the time you had a down payment, they already sold the dream to someone in China. This isn't economics, this is organized theft with granite countertops. And your generation was the mark. You thought it was just about timing? Nah, they timed it against you. Rates up, wages flat, home prices vertical like a Ponzi scheme with drywall. And everyone who made it before you pulled up the ladder and charged you rent for standing there. Let's talk facts. Median age of a first-time buyer, now about 40 years old. You've got a receding hairline before your mortgage app clears. Meanwhile, in the 1990s, people were buying in their 20s, starter home, backyard, barbecue. Now you're 33 years old, sharing a basement with a roommate from college and a dehumidifier in the corner. You didn't fail, the system did, but you were never supposed to win. That was the scam. That wasn't capitalism, it was cannibalism. Boomers didn't invest, they speculated, then turned around and told you to stop eating avocado toast, stop drinking so much Starbucks. Well, they Airbnb'd their third property from the dock of their paid-off Muskoka cottage. Let me say this out loud. You're not broke. You were born into a rigged casino. Let's talk stats before they call this whining. Real estate price to income ratio in Canada, worse than San Francisco, worse than London, worse than Tokyo. Vancouver and Toronto crack the global unaffordability index every year. You'd have an easier time moving to Manhattan. But here's the dagger. 65% of Canadians under 35 say they don't believe they'll ever own a home. Not maybe, not someday, never. You think that's pessimism? That's realism with receipts. And what did we do as a country? Built more pre-con, sold it to international buyers, and told you to just keep saving. While the median rent hit $2,700, while inflation ate your groceries, while your job turned into a contract gig with no benefits but great culture. Let's talk work. Employment participation for under 35s, lowest it's been since 2009. And that was during a global collapse. Now, it's just another Tuesday in Canada. You went to school, got the degree, did the thing, and your reward, a $48,000 salary with a side of depression and a boss who uses the word grit. And the career ladder doesn't go anywhere. Jobs that used to exist, copywriting, entry-level finance, junior marketing, gone. Replaced by AI, replaced by software, replaced by unpaid interns who want exposure. This isn't a slump, it's an economic betrayal. The Industrial Revolution created jobs, AI just replaced them. Self-driving trucks are already delivering. Content is AI generated. Coders are getting out-coded. This ain't the future. It's a funeral. And your unemployment plan reads like an obituary. But let's come back to the house because that's where they trap you. Your parents told you to buy real estate, but they forgot to mention they bought at 4x income. You're looking at 12x with a stress test and a six-figure deposit. You're not lazy. You're leveraged out before you even qualify. And the few who got in, they bought a condo that's 520 square feet and call it an investment, until they see the $710 a month maintenance fee and realize the only thing appreciating is the mold behind the fridge. This ain't home ownership, this is Stockholm syndrome. But real estate always goes up. Really? Let's look at the math. Someone bought in 2021 at peak pricing $699. Today, maybe $630,000 on a good day if they're lucky. That's a $69,000 haircut in 2 years, plus land transfer tax, closing costs, agent fees. They didn't buy an asset, they bought a slow motion car crash. Still think waiting is lazy? Still think it's just budgeting? Then you're not paying attention because this scam runs deep. Developers overbuilt, cities overzoned, politicians overpromised, and the taxpayer always underrates the fallout. This isn't just a housing bubble, it's a generational trap. The government pumped immigration without infrastructure, allowed foreign buyers to scoop supply, and you got handed the pamphlet and told to buy local. Let's be real. Your parents' home appreciated more in 1 year than you make in 5. That's not sustainable, that's not fair, and that's not your fault. And every news anchor telling you to stay hopeful owns their primary outright and a couple rentals on the side. They're not reporting the collapse, they're profiting off of it. Let me say this clear. You're not behind, you're not lazy, you're not stupid, you're trapped. And the whole machine was built that way. They need you to rent. They need you to believe. They need you too busy to look at the balance sheet of this broken dream. But you're waking up because now you're not just renting space, you're renting time, you're renting peace, you're renting stability. And every year that goes by, the ownership door slams shut harder. Because here's what they don't want you to hear. The real estate market wasn't built for you. It was built on you. You're the yield. You're the exit strategy. You're the down payment for someone else's retirement. And if you think rates coming down is going to fix this, brother, that's a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Because here's the real damage. It's already baked in. You weren't buying a home, you were auditioning for debt slavery. And the prize, a shoebox in the sky with a sink and a soul-crushing payment plan. This wasn't ownership, it was economic cosplay. Playing grown-up with borrowed money and evaporating dreams. You got scammed, and now you're stuck with a mortgage that feels like a prison sentence for a crime you didn't commit. Let's go deeper. Look at the numbers. 2024 CMHC report says it will take 5.8 million new homes by 2030 to restore affordability. Guess how many we're building? Not even close. And even if we hit those targets, you think they're building them for you? No, they're building pre-cons priced at $750K with the maintenance fees of a luxury yacht and the build quality of a folding chair. You're not the client, you're the exit. These units, they were never meant to be lived in. They were spreadsheet flips for investors, bought by people who've never even seen GTA. And now that the music stopped, you're the one without the chair. Here's the fallout. Assignments are rotting, closings are falling through, developers are canceling projects midway through and keeping your deposit hostage like a ransom note. And those who did close, they're walking into negative equity, locked into a 5.5% interest mortgage, paying $3,400 a month for a condo you could buy for $150K less today. This ain't market correction, it's economic revenge porn. Every policy from the top down favored those who had and fleeced those who didn't. And now it's all cracking. Boomers get bailed, young people get blamed. Do you think I'm kidding? Watch what happens when prices fall another 10%. Suddenly it's protect our home equity, support homeowners. Translation, subsidize the past, sacrifice the future, and the media plays along. Every headline is sedative, soft landing, stabilization, strong fundamentals. Meanwhile, your dreams are bleeding out in a bachelor unit with a cracked window and a broken promise. Let's talk reality. You're working 2 jobs, you're not saving, you're surviving. You're not building wealth, you're dodging overdrafts like nobody's business while your boss posts vacation photos from Lake Como. And every time you check the MLS, your soul gets in new debt. But here's the evil genius of the whole scam. This didn't just price you out, they convinced you it was your fault. Like you're the idiot, like you didn't hustle hard enough, like you should have just bought in 2018. Come on, in 2018, you were making $43K and paying OSAP with after-tax hope. This market didn't miss you, it hunted you. And here's the part that nobody wants to admit. Even if prices were to magically drop by 35% today, you still couldn't afford it. Not with your rent at $2,800, not with wages flattening, not with AI turning your 5-year degree into an unpaid internship. Let's do the math. Toronto average home price, say it pulled back 20%, bringing it down to $900,000. You've got $73,000 of income, stress tested at 6.5%. You need $100K down payment, not including closing costs, not including taxes, not including breathing. So what's the plan? Wait for a miracle, hope the soft market lands, hold your breath and manifest? Here's a better plan. Burn the playbook because this isn't about buying a home, it's about surviving a rigged economy. They told you to grind, but the real flex is clarity. Knowing the game is cooked and refusing to be the mark. Let me hit you with a stat. 40% of first-time buyers at 2022 peak had help from family. Not just moral support, cold, hard down payments. And now those families are getting nervous because Junior's $799K investment is worth $665. And the bank still wants a full pound of flesh. You're not too late, you're lucky. Lucky you didn't sign, lucky you didn't rush in, lucky you saw the red flags before the red ink. But here's the twist. The scam doesn't stop at the transaction. It's in culture. In the way we romanticize homeownership, in the way we shame renters, in the way we equate buying a home with becoming an adult. They use pride as leverage, FOMO as fear, and now you're sitting in a rental eating half of your paycheck feeling like a failure. Let me fix the mindset real quick. Renting isn't failure. Most of these homes are trash investments with crown molding. But don't worry, you'll hear it again. Real estate always comes back. Yeah, so does herpes. Hamilton, Mississauga, downtown Toronto, condo after condo, staged to perfection, still stale, because the buyers disappeared, because reality showed up, because people finally realized negative cash flow is not a flex. And for the brave few who still buy, they're not building wealth, they're bailing water from a sinking ship. Mortgage renewals in 2026 projected to hit $900 billion in volume. That's not a cycle, that's a reckoning. Your $2,100 a month payment becomes $3,300 overnight. And if you're barely holding on, now you're dangling by a thread made of wishful thinking and variable rates. This is not sustainable. And everyone pretending that it is is selling a product, not a solution. You were told to invest in real estate. No one told you what happens when it eats itself. This is the unraveling of the Ponzi with drywall. And you were never supposed to win, but now you see it. And that's the start. Because when you stop believing in the system, you stop getting trapped by it. You build smarter, you move sharper, you stop listening to people who say real estate is always a good investment, from their $1.5 million bungalow that they bought in 1994 for $182K. You're not a statistic, you're the backlash, the one who calls the bullshit and breaks the cycle. Because if this is the dream, burn it.